Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a T92 HMC. It's the Tier 10 American SPG, and this one's located on the north spawn of Tundra, and it's under the command of BetimAbazi. Now, BetimAbazi's been sending me some rather good replays recently, so I think you're in for a treat over the next couple of days as you see them. The T92 HMC's got the biggest gun in the game, 24 centimeters is the caliber, and it can deal out output damage of 1300 hit points. Well, battle has started. Mind you, it does have to penetrate 60 millimeters of armor to deal out that 1300. Now, I think you might have noticed, if you're a familiar viewer or a regular viewer, that I've changed some of the mods. I'm actually trying out a slightly different head-up display. I'm currently fighting in the frontline mode, and I find this head-up display, this reticule, slightly easier to play with than my previous one. Okay, Betim's loaded, rounds out. Oh, big hit! The T54 direct hit on him, and he actually splashed the tank that just went through, which was the Leopard prototype. So he actually picked up 760 hit points of damage with just one shot. It does help sometimes if you fire at two tanks at the same time. It's reloading. It's one of the longest reloads in the game, but then you'd expect that for such a heavy, high caliber shell. But something you may notice, he's got a red line, and the reason for that is he's got an obstruction in the way. Well, yep, he hasn't got an obstruction there, but it's nearly obscured, and the shell actually hit the rock face and stunned his own teammate, I think, there. So he's going to have to relocate, because that position is not very helpful. Those rocks tend to get in the way, but he's moved into a different bush. Reload is underway. SU-130PM. Now, he won't react very well to an Arty round hitting him, but you can see a partially obscured reticule, and that means that there is an obstruction that might actually stop the shell from hitting that target. And you see he's got a red line there, and that's the rock that's causing the problem. So if he had fired at that point, there was a pretty good chance that he wouldn't even have got the shell on target. It would have hit the rock, but these tanks are a lot closer. Oh, and he fired that one. It wasn't fully dialed in. It hit the ridgeline ahead of the Leopard prototype, but he wasn't detected because the Leopard prototype was over the ridgeline. Now, so long as he doesn't move, and so long as he doesn't fire at this point, they won't see him. He'll be just hidden in the bush, and they won't know he's here. But most of the time, Arty only gets detected because they move whilst they're in sight of the enemy, and moving actually does give up your position. Obviously, the vehicle has to make a noise to move, and that's when they know where you are. Well, that T54 didn't notice him, and he fired the round in, but there was enough bushes between him and the T54 that he didn't spot him. So the bush mechanic came into his favour there. Pulling back just to get a bit more cover. Now, there's only 16 rounds of ammunition in this Arty. Very few. And that's because they're very big shells. In fact, in the real T92 HMC, they had to have a truck to carry all the ammo around because there just wasn't enough space on the Arty for even the men that had to service this gun. They had to carry trucks and personnel carriers, and, well, it's actually, the Arty's made on the chassis of a T26 E3, and they only made 5 of them, and they're going to be used to take out bunkers and emplacements on the mainland of Japan at the end of the war. Well, he got a hit there on the Tiger II for 492. That's a big hit. So he's up to 1.2k damage. Tiger II was obviously tracked, and, well, he's not moving yet. Oh, he is now. And you can see he was stunned quite heavily as well. Reload time 41.34 seconds. It's a really long reload. Now Betim was actually just checking to make sure that was there somebody coming up beside him. Always worth doing that, just to check. And you can see that Canon Jagdpanther 105 has actually pushed that wreck out to use as a bit of cover. And what can we see over here? Well, it's the enemy Arty, but he's hiding behind a rock. And now he's dead because a Wizzy 11114 got him. There's the Canon dialing in on that position. He's probably still there. And he's dead! That shell went right up his posterior, just like, well, Klaus Kellerman would do. How's that? Klaus Kellerman style. Shoot him up the ass. And it worked. Now, how many enemies left? 2. They've got a Badger and an IS-7. And Betim's team has got 4 players. Him, a Wizzy 11114, a Strib 103, and a T30. Oh, there's the IS-7. He's found our Wizzy 11114, and this is a Tier 10 versus a Tier 9 matchup. And yeah, unfortunately, fortunately for us, he's just killed his own teammate. He fired the round in snapshot, and it took out his Wizzy 11114. I do hope he apologises in chat, because I don't think the Wizzy 11114 player will be amused, because he actually had more health left than the IS-7. And if they've been allowed to face off face to face, I suspect that the Wizzy 11114 would have succeeded. There's the Badger. No mushrooms in sight, but plenty of badgers. No. That's a bad joke as well. And the shell goes long. And we've just lost our Strib, so it's now 2 versus 2. Oh dear, oh dear. This is looking a bit like a stalemate. There's 8 minutes still to go, though, on the clock, so... Yep, tree goes down, tells us where the Badger is. Now, T30 is sitting at the end of the bridge, but one of the tanks could be going around the outside. Now, the T30 is 100% health. There's the IS-7. Diving in on his position. Rounds out. Direct hit. 449. He's now one shot for the T30. Ideally, we need to change position. There's the Badger coming in behind the T30. Oh, this is going to be bad for the T30. Yeah, unfortunately. And now, if Betim fires, he's actually going to badly damage his own teammate, who's now taken 2 shots. He's lost virtually all of his health, and I think, yeah, he's gone. We're only a few seconds away from shooting. Can we get a shot into that Badger to kill him? Yes! So now it's 1-on-1. Arty versus IS-7. Mind you, it's the best Arty in... well, best Arty. It's the biggest Arty in the game. Biggest gun in the game versus the IS-7. The Tier 10. And he's crossed the bridge. And he's now in our cap area. But he's not staying in the cap because he wants to kill the Arty. So therefore, he's going to try and find Betim. And here he comes. Now, Betim being very careful. All he moved. And at that moment when he moved, oh, he fired the gun. And at that moment, they both died. So that is going to be a draw. You see, he moved the vehicle. The IS-7 immediately spotted him, turned to face him. He fired and blew them both away. So ended up with a draw. Otherwise, the IS-7 might have got a win out of it. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, yes, it is a draw. Only a bruiser medal for BetimAbazi in the T92 HMC. A win 8 of 2530, which is Unicum standard. But, yep, no medals except, well, he did have the satisfaction of at least getting a draw so that the enemy couldn't win in that one. Otherwise, he would have won. he got the second highest damage on his team, but it wasn't the highest damage overall. In fact, that went to the Badger on the enemy team, which he killed. 5,329 hit points to him. He picked up the high caliber. The next highest scorer was the Striv 103. He got 3897. And then came the IS7 with 3756. Betim managed to get 2690, which is the fourth highest damage in the game. But he picked up the second highest number of kills. He got 3, but the IS7 managed to get 5 in the end. And also the Badger got 3, and so did the Object 705 and the Wizzy 11114. If only he hadn't killed that Wizzy when he did, that would have been a different result, I'm sure of it. There you go, it does happen, I'm afraid. When we look at base XP, I'm afraid it was the IS7 who got the highest amount. He got 635, the Wizzy 11114 managed to get 569. And then came the Badger with 568. Betim only got 433 out of that one. Well down the table, I'm afraid. And of course, you remember he did do some team damage, and that's obviously going to figure in the results. Yes, here it is. 11 shots fired, 5 direct hits, 1 penetration. Splash damage on 9, damage of 2,690 hit points, of which 1,944 were up more than 300 meters. The close one was the IS-7. He actually did kill one of his own teammates, yes, 1 death, and 169 hit points of damage to the Wizzy 11114. He damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 3 of them, and did damage assistance of 77 hit points and got 5 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 38,318 credits, but he had to pay a fine. 4,487 credits went to the Wizzy 11114 driver. So that meant Betim had 33,831, and after repair and ammunition resupply, and the ammo is very expensive on this Arty, it meant that he actually ended up with a deficit, a loss of 24,104 credits. Or is that 184? I think my eyesight is getting terrible. 184. Earned 652 XP for the battle, -3 because he damaged his teammate, only took away 649 after all. So, sometimes you take a shot when there's 2 enemies or an enemy and a teammate close together, and it can actually have dramatic consequences for the end of the battle. And in this case, I think that shot really did change the result, because when he took out that Wizzy 11114, there was a very good chance that that tag would have killed the Wizzy 111, the IS-7, because the IS-7 had much less health. And if that had happened, then I think they both would have been able to take down the Badger in the end. So, if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.